All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. First off, thank you so much for joining this Converge session. My name is Matt Wheeler. I will be your host for the next 20 or so minutes. And I'm a product manager here at Citrix based out of the Fort Lauderdale office. Currently, I oversee all of the search in Workspace as well as the integrations we'll be covering today. So super excited to share with you what we've been working on here behind the scenes. And let's jump right into it. So the agenda for this session, we'll be covering a new kind of micro app integration that we will be launching soon in the next month or so, and then opening up to third-party developers sometime in 2022. We're going to be covering the major questions here, right? What, how, why, and when. So these are end user enabled integrations versus admins going into Citrix Cloud and configuring them. And we're going to be covering an example of this with OneDrive. So we've built internally a couple of integrations to show OneDrive notifications in the Workspace feed, as well as being able to search for files within the Workspace. So next we're going to cover how we built these. We're going to go over the JavaScript code and some of the tools that will be available to developers in the future, very similar to the micro app builder that you're used to today. And then next is why would you want to build these integrations, and where does it fit into the overall vision for Workspace? And then lastly, when can you get access and build these end user enabled integrations? So these are a new kind of micro app integration that are enabled completely by the end users with no admin involvement whatsoever. So they are very complementary to the integrations that you all know and love today. I certainly hope you can check out some of those other Converge sessions so you can get up to speed with all the new and exciting features that the micro apps team has deployed recently. Now, these are going to leverage the same services as the other micro app integrations, but they don't require any configuration or customization by the admin. Once the developer uploads the scripts and integrations to our catalog, they're going to appear to the Workspace end users across the board on all tenants by default. So the real value here is as the admins are configuring micro apps in the background, the end users are empowered to personalize and customize their Workspace experience as they see fit from day one. The second that they gain access to the Workspace, they can go into their account settings and start authenticating to these other apps and be able to populate their activity feed with valuable notifications, be able to search for files and other data across their systems of record. They're able to unify their tasks across different applications and really customize the widgets on their homepage. So this is the direction and the strategy that we're going towards to kind of fill that gap between when a user gains access to Workspace and when all of the micro apps are configured by their administrator. Now, some of these are going to be gated by entitlements. It's really depending on what the integration is all about. If it's a content collaboration integration, you're going to need the content collab entitlement. But overall, you're going to, if you purchase a Workspace SKU, you're going to get access to all these integrations. So next, we're going to move on to a quick demo of what the OneDrive search and OneDrive notifications look like. I did pre-record this demo, so there are no demo gods intervening, and I'm going to voice over as we go. Now, this is my personal test account for Workspace that has these integrations enabled on them. They will be available in a public tech preview shortly. If anyone is interested in having these OneDrive integrations enabled on their tenant, by all means, please email me, and I'll definitely work with you to get them enabled. So when an end user enters their Workspace experience, they're going to want to navigate to their account settings by clicking their avatar in the top right. In these settings, they'll navigate to the integrations page that we have here. And as you see, there's a number of share file connectors, as well as the new OneDrive notifications in search below. Now, when the end user clicks on that connect button, they're going to go through an authentication flow. Now, I had already went through it where it takes me to Microsoft. I enter my credentials with Citrix. It's all SSO. It goes through my two-factor verification, and that's it. I get the pop-up screen saying that it was successful. Now, after you authenticated to, let's say, Microsoft once, it's going to, be able to leverage that authentication for any other integrations, such as the search here. So you'll see I'll go click on the connect button, and it's going to pop up with the verification that it authenticated for me successfully. Now, after this, the user can navigate to their home page, and they're going to see these notifications show up in their activity feed. Very simple. If another collaborator uploads a file to your OneDrive folder that you own, you're going to get this notification saying that Tomas uploaded the FINRA letter to your shared folder. Now, there are other notifications that are bundled into this integration, including every time a file is shared with you, and a OneDrive file is shared with you, as well as anytime there has been an edit to or an update to one of your OneDrive files. Now, this alerts you, it keeps your end users engaged on the activity that your collaborators are doing around you. Now, there are several actions that you can take on these kinds of notifications. And again, the developers code all of this into it. They decide when they receive notification, what triggers the notifications, and what actions you can take. So here we clicked on the View button, and that is a deep link right into Microsoft, and it automatically opens up this Word document for you to edit and share and so forth. We also have the open folder, so there's a link to the OneDrive folder where you can see the other documents in this OneDrive folder of yours. Now, going back, we're going to go through what the OneDrive search looks like. As you can see, once you click the search box, it will pull up the box. I'm going to type in Citrix, and you can either hit enter, see more results, and it's going to drop you on the alt tab. And if you scroll down, you'll see all of the systems of record that you are integrated with in the search results for that query. You can also go to the other tabs, and as you add search integrations, you will get the tabs automatically populated there. And as you just saw, once you click on a result, it is a deep link that opens up that file directly in Microsoft. Since you're already authenticated, you don't have to go through a second authentication. So that was a very quick demo of these two out-of-the-box end-user-enabled integrations. It doesn't require any admins to configure or anything like that. Now that we covered a quick demo on what is possible with these new end-user-enabled integrations, I want to go over how we built them and how you can expect to build them in the future when we release this publicly to third-party developers. As you can imagine, there's a lot of platform work happening right now to enable these new capabilities. A lot of custom scripting going on to translate, between the APIs of these third-party applications and the Workspace UI. But it's going to have the same look and feel and flow as you're used to today with building micro apps. So you'll have your developer account. You'll navigate to the micro apps console in Citrix Cloud, go through the flow to create a new integration, and ultimately land on the scripting service, which it leverages very heavily. So it's going to be a bundle of JavaScript files that defines, what the integration does and what UI elements in the Workspace UI it interacts with, right? And what the objects are actually are, being passed between the two. Are they files? Are they tasks? Are they notifications, calendar, and so on? So you can expect a lot of documentation and a lot of examples of what we've already built so far, so that you can continue to to leverage those and enhance these integrations as you go. Now, part of this is a little different since we will be publishing these and making them available by default to all tenants and users across the board. It's going to go through our review process, our CI/CD pipeline, and there's going to be a lot of extensive end user testing to ensure that these integrations work for everyone on all clients. It's going to go through our normal review process, right? Now, being a developer, you will also have controls over who it's available to, right? Maybe you don't want to publicly display these and you want to keep them just for your select tenants. You'll certainly be able to do that as well. Next, I want to cover what the integration and the scripts look like for the OneDrive search that you saw the demo of. Here is an example of the bundle of JavaScript files that are uploaded to our catalog. As you can see, there's a Microsoft Graph request that is being displayed on the right here. Very simple. It takes the query from the Workspace UI, it passes it to Microsoft Graph, and defines that it wants to search for that query under the drive items, and here's all the metadata and the constants that we want returned and that we care about, so that we can populate the UI with this data, as well as the deep links in order to get directed back to that file in OneDrive specifically. And there's some other files in here as far as transforming and translating the requests, but overall it's a very simple JavaScript package that was developed, and this is what will ultimately go through our CI/CD pipeline and get published to the end users. Now, as part of this, you're going to need to define the integration title and some other aspects to it. And then we'll attach what the entitlements requirements are, unless it is a private integration that you guys want to keep to your specific tenants. So there's a lot of properties that you can define as part of this integration bundle. And you're going to be able to do that in the micro app console, right? It's going to be very guided experience for you. It's going to show you examples of other integrations that are already published and what the properties are that are passed for those. I am not a coding expert by any means. I know my way around HTML and CSS, but there's going to be a support system as well if you're having some troubles creating these. But ideally, everything is going to be available to you to build and test these integrations. Now, I want to cover the major question and the elephant in the room, which is why would developers want to build on the Workspace platform, right? And this is a very exciting time because we're very much so in the development phase, and we have been gathering a lot of feedback and opinions from developers such as yourself. And we want to continue to keep those lines of communication open because, the whole goal of this is to shape the experience to your needs and your wants when it comes to building these integrations. We're not going to be able to reach 1 billion users all by ourselves. We certainly want to work with all of you to enhance the Workspace experience and capabilities as we go. Now, these end user enabled integrations, they're very powerful because they reduce the time to value for these end users, and it allows them to really personalize their experience, right? Not every user works the same way. Not every user, has the same applications and the same workflows and needs. So these are a way not to overload your end user's experience, based on what the admin thinks is right for them. It's really to, get these end users moving and being productive and engaged at work. Now, some of the capabilities that you will be able to build aren't just for third-party SaaS applications. They're also you also have the ability to enhance the Citrix services like analytics and security analytics. You're able to surface some of these usage metrics, performance metrics, security indicators to end users as you see fit. You're able to surface some virtualized apps and desktops notifications to your end users. And like I said, you can make these integrations only available to yourself and your customers in select tenants, right? And that's how we see developers, monetizing and being incentivized to build on our platform. You guys know your customers best, and you're going to be able to build custom solutions that really fit their need, right? Maybe customers have legacy, systems that are very niche, right, and vertical specific. Whether it's a construction application or a healthcare app like Epic. You have the power to build these custom integrations that are out of the box. They don't require any admin configuration at all. And you're able to provide these very valuable add-ons to the workspace. Now, we do have a mechanism to advertise these wonderful new integrations that you build in-app, in the workspace user interface to the end users, right? So for every new wonderful integration, we can have a little notification pop up saying, hey, look at me, navigate to the catalog and authenticate to this integration and get this wonderful value that is tailored to you. This is certainly a way that we are planning to publicize your hard work and get you noticed in the Workspace catalog. So you'll also have tools in Citrix Cloud to be able to monitor the active use of your integration, right? How many tenants have it enabled? How many end users have authenticated to your integration and interacted with it in the Workspace UI? So these are all wonderful ways to partner with you long term, right? You can based on the usage of it and the feedback that we collect from the end users on your integrations, you can enhance them, you can update them at any time, and just continue this strong partnership that we want to have. Now, these the sky's the limit here, right? There is no limitations to what these integrations can do. We are making the Workspace UI very customizable with widgets, and these integrations can populate any of those widgets and interact with any other system, right? This is part of the abstraction layer that we're building to standardize all of these objects that our end users interact with daily, whether it's emails or files, their calendar invites and tasks. All of these are going to be standardized and have interoperability with other integrations, right? So we don't want there to have to be a specific integration with OneDrive and DocuSign, right? They can be separate, and once you're connected to OneDrive and they show up in the Workspace, you can send any of those files to any e-signature solution that you have, right? Whether that's Right Signature, DocuSign, Adobe Sign, you name it. So there's going to be a lot of flexibility, and we're going to reduce the duplication required here, right? And this is what we're really excited about, because we're going to be able to handle any type of scenario and use case that our customers come at us with, right? And you're going to be able to be the hero to these customers and say, hey, I got a custom solution for you. It leverages the Workspace integration platform, and it solves these niche and unique use cases that your users have. That's why we're so excited about this. And like I said, this is in the development phase where we are collecting as much feedback from developers like yourself as we can, so that when we release this in 2022 to all of you, you're going to have the best experience possible. It has all of the tooling you need, all of the test packages and monitoring, so that you can be as successful as you can be. Now, here's my email, and I kind of covered this earlier, but we're targeting sometime in 2022 where the Citrix Cloud and the Micro Apps console will be updated to support these new kinds of integrations, and you can get your feet wet. So as I mentioned, please shoot me an email if you're interested in joining these tech previews of these integrations that we are building. And with that, I want to thank you all again for joining this Converge session. I hope you found it valuable. I'm really looking forward to hearing all of your feedback and partnering with you in the future. And I will certainly stay on the line to continue answering any and all of your questions. And that's it. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.